Okay, so I want to go over something that I'm doing in the garden this year. I haven't made a lot of garden videos so far, and I've done a lot of stuff, so I'm going to try to start filming that now, now that things are going. But one of the things that has happened is that I've tried starting my seeds out in a greenhouse this year instead of in the house, because I never have enough light. No matter how many lights I buy, they always get leggy and then they fall over and they die. So, you know, that's never worked for me very well. So I'm trying the greenhouse, but it has its own struggles too, including trying to regulate humidity and things like that. The kind of greenhouse I have doesn't allow me to vent very well, at least not from the top up here. And I have to leave the door open to vent. But some of the things that have happened is I bought these cell planters, and the cell planters have cocoa fiber in them that I put in for seed starting, a sterile mixture and all that. But some of the plants are basically wilting and falling over. I guess they're dampening off. So they're either too wet, and then I come in sometimes if I try to not water them so much, and they're too dry. So it's back and forth, and this is what has happened to some of my melons, which is not good. I'm having to start over with them, but I'll show you here. Okay, so you can see that's the stem of one. I tried to pull them out because they were already falling over, but they're either not coming up at all, or they're coming up and see they have like damage to them. I don't know if that one's gonna live. That's the ice cream melon. This one is sugar baby watermelon. It seems to be doing the best out of all of them, but you can see they're just not coming up. And even these, like, that's a tomato. So I can't seem to regulate the water in these trays, at least not out here in the greenhouse. So what I've moved to is this. Roots and Refuge Farm, Jess, was using these grow bags, so I decided to find some on Amazon, and that Kajari melon back there is actually one I transplanted. It's one of the few that survived the tray. So I transplanted it into here hoping I can keep it alive. But I replanted the ice cream melon, sugar baby watermelon, gray zucchini, Kajari melons, did 2 rows of those, and cocozelle squash and custard squash. So I've got the squashes and the melons in here. They seem to be very temperamental about the water level, humidity level. So I've got them in these bags. These bags breathe. I can bottom water them so that it doesn't bother them. So I've just got them in this tray. It's actually one of the tops to the other trays. It's very flimsy, so I've got a rack underneath it to keep it steady from flopping around when I carry it, because it's very heavy with all this soil and all this water, especially now that I've watered them in. So this is what I'm doing. I'll show you the reason why I decided to switch to this is because I did an experiment with it just to see. But these over here are some beets. So yes, I know you're supposed to put beets in ground, but these bags are biodegradable. The roots grow through them, so I don't think the beets are going to have a problem. Plus, I wanted to experiment with the bags. And I have my first little cucumber gherkin. This is a West India burr gherkin. Got them from Baker Creek. Supposedly they were the favorite gherkin or favorite cucumber of Thomas Jefferson, which is kind of interesting. He wrote a lot about his likes and dislikes, so I'm sure he recorded it somewhere. But these beets, I wanted to try the Shiraz beets, which I got a long time ago. Their germination rate's not great, so I didn't know if they'd come up, but the other ones came up great. So Detroit dark red mid-top beet and tall top early wonder beet. So those are my other ones. And the cucumbers haven't all come up. I've got lemon cucumbers. Those seeds were a couple years old. Armenian cucumbers, and 4 of the West India burr gherkins. So But as you can see, I mean, the trays aren't a complete failure. We've got some flowers, some zinnias, some morning glory coming up, pumpkins, those are Jack B. Little pumpkins, and tomatoes. But as you can see, there's a lot of dead space here, and I'm not really sure why. So we did have a couple of really hot temps in here. I have a little Bluetooth thermometer and hydrometer. This Inkbird I got on Amazon for, I think it was about 30 bucks, but it runs off a little battery, little AAA, and it works really good. It gives me 24-hour reports, and I sit it down here. It's a little bit magnetic, so it doesn't move around or fall. So as you can see, I do have some success with the trays, just not a lot, and not as much as I had hoped. So, you know, this one is completely gone. I did find some ants underneath these. I hope they're gone. I tried to drown them out. But, yeah, nothing's coming up. Basil, all these are herbs, nothing. So, I may decide to toss all of this, you know, in a week here or so. If nothing's still coming up, it's been several weeks. If it's still not coming up by the end of this week, then I'm gonna toss it and move to the grow bags. I've got some different sizes over here. They come in a bag like this, and here we go. And they just look like this. So these are the really big ones that I have over here. As you can see, they don't look like much in my hand right now, but they expand. So once you fill them with soil, they get pretty big. So those are the big ones. I was dubious when I looked at these. I thought they were a lot smaller. I didn't think I'd be able to use them for melons and such, but it also comes with other sizes. There's some really squat ones. These are tiny. They do not expand. They're just, you know, these are tiny. So like if you're starting, you know, seeds from like this size of a cell, like this would basically equal that. But then, you know, of course we have really big ones. So these are really big ones, and these are bigger than those. And when I go to transplant my tomatoes, I'm going to put them in these, just because I want them to, you know, grow nice and big, have plenty of room for their roots, so that when I put them in the ground, they'll be well established. So I'm going to use the big ones for the tomatoes, and I can bury them pretty deep. So these will be a lot deeper than the others. But there's different sizes. I just ordered a pack of 400 for, it was around 10 bucks for 400, which is really great. And again, they're biodegradable, so they're not gonna go anywhere. Trying to do this one-handed is not easy. All right. So yeah, again, I got this tip from Roots and Refuge Farm. I think she got the tip, Jess got the tip from somebody else. But yeah, so that's what I've been using now. And of course I've got carrots trying to do carrots right there in the bags, but this is what they look like when they're expanded and not filled yet. So these are the ones that expand. So they have a little bit of a square bottom, and they sit pretty nicely. You can put them in these totes, which work really well. And I just have a tote that I filled with dirt and sprinkled some wildflower mix on. So I'm going to separate these seedlings out and transplant them later, but for right now, they're just sitting in there, and they're doing great. In fact, they're doing better than just about anything in here. So that's really good and encouraging. So hopefully everything else will catch up, or I'll just have to start over this season. And luckily we have a long growing season. So, but very quickly, since I'm vlogging, I'll show you all the greenhouse. So this is the greenhouse I got. It has 12 shelves, so it's actually pretty big, but I got it for about $65 and it was on sale. So I ordered it, easy to put together. It took some time, there's lots of pieces, but it wasn't complicated. And my husband helped me put the plastic over it. We stretched it over it, pulled it down, and the door has little buckles, so you roll it up and buckle it. I would suggest, even on a 50-degree day, rolling that up and buckling it, because it gets hot in there. Even on 50 degrees here, anytime there's direct sun, it's going to get up into the hundreds if you're not careful. So I think that's what happened to me one of the days. I think it got too hot. So it might not be the trays, and it might not be the water. It might have been the heat, because one of the days it did get up to 100 because I forgot to open the door. So that was on me. But, and beside it, I went ahead and hand-tilled with my hand-tiller. Hand-tilled a spot that I used last year. It's got lots of compost. It did really well. I put leaves over it over the winter, so that's where all the leaves came from. But, I've got a row down here of red romaine lettuce. Beside it, I put some more beets, just for the greens. And I put a row of French breakfast radishes. I've never tried radishes, but I want to. So I know it's kind of late season for them, but I'm hoping I can get them before they bolt. And then along the back and along this front here, they'll get big and shade the greenhouse, which is what I want. But those are sunflowers. So I planted mammoth sunflowers here and a shorter red sunflower variety along the back. The sun comes from over here, so it's not going to shade out any of the garden, but it will shade out the greenhouse, which is what I want. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what I wanted to share today. I'll keep trying to make videos as I go. I've got some tilling to do in the other lot, and got some perennials that are blooming, so I'll do some updates on those, and the strawberry tower and things that I did last year. The strawberry tower may have to be redone, but for this year I think I'm gonna leave it. It's doing okay, not as well as I had hoped. I think I gotta redesign how I made it, so we'll see on that one, but everything else looks good. And only had one plant that it didn't come back over the winter, and I really need to remove it, so I'll do some updates for that. But I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye.